Energy Summit opens in Tanzania. President Tinubu in high-level discussions with other African leaders in economic and financial sectors.
Nigeria is doing the right things. Nigeria needs the right partners.
Vice President Kashim Shettima in Kogi State inaugurates road projects.
Governor Ododo has made a remarkable pace with the launch of the Kogi dialogue, and now it is up to all of us to support this initiative.
Senate seeks enhanced trade ties with Switzerland in manufacturing and agriculture.
Our shared commitment to sustainability drives forward thinking solutions for energy and the environment.
Plus, consistent data bank in Nigeria's schools a reality as education data comes on board.
To identify gaps and make targeted interventions where they are needed.
Watching the network news on NTA, I'm Naja'atu Tijani. Welcome. Joining us from our Lagos Network Center is Adiola Komiakiri. And as usual, Musa Abubakar is in our studios in Abuja with highlights in the world of business. Musa?
This market begin the week in positive territory.
Positive all the way. Bade Adeleye is also in the sporting arena with breaking news. Bade, do tell.
Well, Najatu, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have been drawn in Group C of the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations alongside Uganda, Tanzania and Tunisia. We'll tell you more when we get to sports.
And we look forward to the details. Remember that this broadcast is being streamed live on our website, nta.ng/live. And you can follow us across social media. Our handles are displayed on the screen. And now the news in detail, beginning with news from Tanzania. The Mission 300 Africa Energy Summit has opened in Dar es Salaam. African leaders on the platform are moving towards what many have termed an ambitious plan of providing 300 million Africans with access to electricity. President Bola Tinubu is on the line for tomorrow, Tuesday, to present his administration's commitment in this direction. State House correspondent Musbau Danwahab joins us from Tanzania's capital, Dar es Salaam, to give us an update. Musbau, what's up? Go ahead, Musbau.
Yes, the stage has come alive here in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania for the Mission 300 Africa Energy Summit, where organizers, particularly the World Bank and the African Development Bank Group, are trying to mobilize resources and people towards taking action in serving the energy deficiency that we have on the continent. Right now, they have identified that about 600 million people across the continent are without access to sustainable energy across the continent, and they're trying to see how to have this by 2030, that is to provide access to 300 million people more on the continent. And this is why they're trying to galvanize African leaders who are participating in this event. Already at the opening session today, key players, particularly from the World Bank and African Development Bank, where we have President Akinwumi Adesina, who spoke earlier today. They have brought on the table what they've got to support the leaders in actualizing these. And as for tomorrow, which is a bigger one, where African leaders present will present their national plans for serving the energy deficiency on the continent, President Bola Tinubu will be one of them. And we spoke to the presidential advisor on media and public communications, Sunday Dari, and the presidential advisor on energy, Oluve Hejen, on what the administration has got in plan, and without necessarily preempting what the president will say tomorrow. Let's take a listen to them.
In order for the World Bank, this World Bank and Africa Development Bank-led initiative to be a success, Nigeria will need to succeed as well in electrifying a lot of the Nigerians who do not have access. We have about a 61% electrification rate. So the idea of this compact is a renewed commitment by the African heads of state to making sure that we accelerate our options, and mobilize and catalyze investments, particularly from the private sector, to ensure we close that access gap, not only for electricity, but as well as clean cooking. For us in Nigeria, our energy compact is going to be driven by the desired outcome that we have, which is to go to a $1 trillion economy by 2030. It means that we also want the level of energy sufficiency that allows us to move millions and millions of Nigerians out of poverty, create jobs, grow incomes, industrialize. And so that is the information that you'll find in this compact.
We have something on the table already from President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You know about the Siemens project initiative that was initiated under the previous administration, President Muhammadu Buhari. We've seen how President Bola Tinubu has come in with an accelerated phase of the Siemens initiative, moving it from 5,000 to a higher capacity. We've also seen the fact that the efforts being made for solar energy, for clean energy, under this same president. And I'm sure it's just not here just for the fun of it. Mr. President will announce a very dynamic, compact initiative coming from Nigeria that will help to push this agenda forward. So we should expect that. But you've seen a president that is focused on energy. Nigeria is doing the right things. Nigeria needs the right partners. You see other countries get international funding and backing. We need these partners to support Nigeria from this point.
Now we'll be expecting what the president will present tomorrow on the platform. And again, part of tomorrow's event is the adoption of the Dar es Salaam Declaration, where African leaders will adopt and proclaim the sustainable solutions to the energy problem on the continent.
Thank you very much. That was our State House correspondent Musbau Wahab reporting from Dar es Salaam, Tanzania, on the Heads of Africa Energy Summit and what to expect from President Bola Tinubu's presentation on Tuesday. And back home in Nigeria, Vice President of Nigeria Kashim Shettima has inaugurated the 5.5-kilometer Katsina-Hassa Crusher dual carriageway and 9-kilometer Barracks Zango Road in Lokoja, commending Kogi State Governor Usman Ododo for consolidating on the achievements of his predecessor. Jibola Christopher's report is here presented.
On behalf of my principal, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu ECFR, the son of a lion has to be a lion.
Inaugurating the completed Zone 8 Katsina Hassan to Crusher Dual Carriage Road and that of Army Barracks Zango Road in Lokoja, Kogi State, the Vice President Kashim Shettima commended Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo for the achievements recorded, stressing that what he has done will serve the interests of humanity. At a stakeholders meeting held at Muhammadu Buhari Square, Lokoja, the Vice President Kashim Shettima thanked the governor for his spirit of consolidation, which he says will lead to development.
Governor Ododo has led a remarkable pace with the launch of the Kogi dialogue, and now it is up to all of us to support this initiative. I am confident that this spark of wisdom will make Kogi State a model for the rest of Nigeria, a testament to the power of progressive people.
Governor Ahmed Usman Ododo, who appreciated the efforts of the previous administration for the solid foundation laid, noted that he is consolidating on the achievements in the past, saying that the roads are opened up to enhance socio-economic development.
I started this immediately after I won the ticket of my party to contest for the governorship of our state. After winning the election, I continued the consultation. Even now, I keep consulting.
And consultation leads to fruition, so that the people who voted you, the people who are in Kogi State, will get the dividends of democracy.
To my people of Kogi State, irrespective of the tribe you belong or the political party you belong, I am preaching peace and togetherness, unity. Let us come together. We've tried our best in our own time, and Governor Ahmad Ododo is doing excellently well in that area.
Various institutions like the State House of Assembly, the State and Federal High Courts, Central Bank, as well as the Confluence Stadium, amongst other public and private institutions, are located along the roads.
Meanwhile, the President of the Senate, Godswill Akpabio, says Nigeria, as the largest economy in Africa, is ready to engage with the European Free Trade Association, EFTA, and other areas of interest to grow the nation's economy. While hosting a delegation of the EFTA from Switzerland, Akpabio said the National Assembly is poised to provide a legal framework to enhance innovation through partnership to diversify the economy and create opportunities, saying the expertise of Switzerland in precision engineering would be a boost to the manufacturing and agricultural sectors.
Our shared commitment to sustainability drives forward thinking solutions for energy and the environment. These are not dreams, but can be the fruits of bold actions if we plant the seeds here today. Nigeria's economy is on a transformative journey under the present leadership of our President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
Leading the Swiss delegation, Thomas Eschi, who is also a member of parliament in Switzerland, expressed confidence that by working together, more areas of collaboration would be identified.
The potential of this country is huge, just looking at its population size. I am convinced that parliamentary diplomacy can help to strengthen ties and relaunch processes for our governments. We are here to lay the groundwork for future possibilities.
In another development, members of the management of the National Assembly Service Commission were also hosted by the leadership of the Senate for improved service in the legislature.
We really need to upgrade our ICT system, both that of the Commission and this of the National Assembly. It's high time, Your Excellency, we start paperless operation. I think we have visited quite a number of countries and they're doing very well, small countries, but doing very well with their ICT.
Now let's talk facts and figures, specifically data protection and processing in Nigeria. And with the current economic repositioning towards less dependence on oil and gas, to exploring the opportunities digital technologies provide in this new era, one aspect often neglected but now gaining momentum is data protection and privacy. Let's join Ayo Deji Makinde for some facts and figures on how Nigeria is faring in this regard. Ayo.
Well, Naja, wait a minute. I'm sure you've had goods and services presented to you with a prompt. Do you accept terms and conditions? And I'm sure you've picked yes.
Well, time to read that epistle, that very long.
And that's one reason why your data could be breached. Well, welcome. Let's tell you that according to the Nigeria Data Protection Commission, there are three main actors in data protection. That's talking about data subjects, data controllers, and data processors. Now, who are data subjects, by the way? Well, data subjects, easily, that's you and I. Data controllers and data processors are those who have access to our data. Banks, hospitals, telcos, telecommunication companies, government agencies, etc. While processors are organizations or individuals processing data on behalf of these controllers. Now, let's also tell you that there are at least 44 deposit money banks in the country. Of course, many of us do bank transfers and the rest, and they're all recognized by the CBN. They, of course, have access to your data and my data. And hospitals, 40,017, according to the Federal Ministry of Health and Telecommunications sector, a massive 224 million mobile subscribers. They have access to your data. Now let's move on and tell you that with all these data controllers and processors of major importance who voluntarily or otherwise have access to our data as subjects in Nigeria today, there are at least 220 data protection or compliance organizations, that's 2770 DCPs, stemming from unauthorized access to data and data breaches. The need to have certified data protection and privacy officers in every DCP's data controllers or processors of major importance has prompted the training of 100 DPOs. Now, that's not a divisional police officer. Those are data protection officers in Abuja and Lagos. And in subsequent weeks, the NDPC has a program for a new cohort of 100 participants to undergo training in each week until a full group of 500 selected participants have completed the training. Now, this is to safeguard against unauthorized access to data and data breaches. Now, with this certification, the 500 participants will be fully funded DPOs by the federal government of Nigeria, paid, and that is through the commission NDPC as part of its 2025 capacity building initiatives. Nigeria aims to become a global net exporter of data protection officers, and there are also efforts to engage well over 480,000 NYSC who pass out every year in digital skills, talking about data analysis, cybersecurity, ethical hacking, digital marketing, engineering solutions, artificial intelligence, etc. One thing is central to all these new opportunities in the digital economic age, because as we diversify from oil and gas to the digital economy that we have in the country today, I'd like to welcome you to the new world. And of course, know your rights as a data subject. Naja, that's just how data protection is faring so far in the country. And remember, tomorrow is the Global Data Privacy Day. So there'll be more questions and, of course, the journey into the future of the digital economy here in Nigeria where opportunities abound.
Thank you very much, Ayo. I can tell you one thing. I do solemnly promise to try my very best to go through the fine print before I click on that agree button. Thank you, Ayo. And speaking of which, in the next 3 months, Nigeria's education sector is expected to have a unified and consistent data bank designed to guide ongoing reforms in the system. This follows the inauguration of a committee by the Federal Ministry of Education to oversee the implementation of the Nigeria Education Data Initiative. Zenret Dingmun reports.
The lack of reliable and comprehensive data has long hindered progress in Nigeria's education sector, making it difficult to make informed decisions, allocate resources efficiently, and accurately measure performance. To address this, the federal government has initiated a plan to consolidate fragmented data from various agencies and institutions into a central, credible, and reliable platform. This platform will track students' educational journeys from their foundational years to their integration into the labor force.
Together, we are laying the foundation for a data-driven education ecosystem that meets the needs of today while preparing for the challenges of tomorrow.
This will identify gaps and make targeted interventions where they are needed, monitor progress in real time, and address emerging challenges proactively. Foster transparency and accountability in resource allocation and policy implementation.
Whatever our universities and various educational systems is turning out, let it be very relevant to the productivity of our economy.
The Ministry of Education is optimistic that this development will make the education system more inclusive, effective, and responsive to the nation's needs. In Abuja, Zenret Dingmun, NTA News.
This is the network news on NTA. Do stay tuned for more reports after this timeout. You're just in time for news from the Lake Chad Basin, a region where communities struggle with insurgency, climate change, and instability. But A significant step is being taken towards enhancing social cohesion and resilience. This effort is the focal point of a forum in Maiduguri, hosted by the Yobe State Government. Pauline Kujivana reports.
Event brought together local and international stakeholders, decision makers and representatives from the ministries in Cameroon, Chad, Niger and Nigeria, along with potential donors to address the challenges of the Lake Chad region and chart a way forward. The pre-forum event featured a crucial meeting of traditional rulers from the Lake Chad basin, emphasizing their role in fostering sustainable peace in the region.
What have been your experience? What have you been dealing with? What are the people saying? Come together, put those ideas together and be able to present it to the governors.
A session titled The Lake Chad Region, Now and Next highlighted efforts to connect and innovate for peace-centered development.
Use two infrastructure, the Observatory for Conflict and Environmental Incidents, as well as a transboundary citizens lab to engage local people to co-create pathways of change towards prosperity and peace for the Lake Chad region.
The International Organization for Migration, IOM, spotlighted mental health and psychosocial support as critical areas for recovery and resilience in the region. The pre-forum successfully united stakeholders, including development partners, religious and traditional institutions, to deliberate on innovative solutions towards presenting at the 5th edition of the Lake Chad Basin Governors Forum, scheduled to hold on Wednesday in Maiduguri. Pauline Kujevana, NTA News.
Broadcast journalists bear both constitutional and ethical responsibility to pursue investigative and data-driven journalism, essential for fostering progress within the nation, says the president of the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, Professor Umaru Pati, who stated this at a two-day roundtable discussing challenges and opportunities of investigative and data journalism in the broadcast sector. Abdullahi Mustafa reports.
The hall is filled with registered members of the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, communication scholars and students gathered for a significant event. The first training session, organized by the pioneering leadership of the association in partnership with the Faculty of Communication of the Bayero University, Kano. The event centers on a roundtable discussion addressing the issues and challenges of investigative and data-driven journalism within the broadcast sector, specifically in the Northwest Zone.
Will enable us to understand more critically of what is expected of us when we graduate and that is when we go into the real work.
President of the Society of Nigerian Broadcasters, Professor Umaru Pati, not only highlighted the key challenges facing the sector, but also emphasized the critical steps broadcast journalists must take to enhance professionalism and uphold journalistic excellence.
It is clear that we have a responsibility that is constitutional, that is psychological, that is structural.
The Chancellor of the Bayero University, Kano, Professor Sagir Adamu Abbas, disclosed that the university has introduced 8 new undergraduate programs, including a degree in broadcast journalism aimed at strengthening the field. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
First Lady of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, has set out modalities to harness the transformative power of agriculture to drive socio-economic development through inclusive financing and sustainable support. To this effect, various agricultural training programs for women and youth are being held in Gombe State. Zara Umar Adamu reports.
To empower women and youth farmers, the Renewed Hope Initiative agricultural support programs aim to contribute to the enhancement of food production for sustenance, economic empowerment, and community development. I will be expecting multiplier effects as you go back home to train others, while they in turn also train others. I have confidence that this initiative will not only transform the lives of the individual beneficiary, but also contribute to food sufficiency.
This training program is timely and relevant as it seeks to equip young people with the skills and knowledge needed to succeed.
The giant strides in the agricultural sector, the trainers say, project the future of Nigeria. Appreciating the gesture, beneficiaries express readiness to justify the confidence reposed in them, promising to step down the training.
I really appreciate her
because she has the insights and the care.
Every trainee went home with a starter pack according to his or her sector. Zara Umar Adam, NTA News.
Similarly, the long-term goal of developing and transforming socio-economic activities in rural communities through agriculture in the Niger Delta region of Nigeria is becoming a reality following the inauguration of 6 agro-based facilities in Ondo State. The projects under the federal government International Fund for Agricultural Development aims to boost food security and create jobs for rural dwellers. Paul Omukago reports.
The inauguration of a cassava processing mill, complete with locally made operational equipment at Maitedo, Ilaje local government area, by the Deputy Governor of Ondo State, Olaide Adelami, was the first of the 6 projects commissioned in 2 days.
To reduce the efforts of carrying raw, unprocessed cassava to the market.
Gedegede community in Akoko Northeast local government area was agog as traditional rulers from neighboring communities joined in the inauguration and facility tour of 5 projects comprising aggregation center, market stalls, cassava processing mill, waste-to-wealth center, and a water project.
IFAD has been supporting me ever since I joined this program.
This is a life-changing event.
The people, the community, they are really very, very happy. Officials say the federal government renewed hope agenda for food security and job creation through agriculture for the teeming youth of the Niger Delta region is on course.
We are quite hopeful that this will lead to wealth creation and also support to the food security aspiration of the government of Nigeria.
Projects that will directly touch the livelihood of the community, especially the youth.
Our beneficiaries, this is what they requested for, and the project has been able to provide such for them.
The federal government IFAD Life Ended project also gave out bags of rice, vegetable oil, and seasoning to women in Akure. Paul Omukago, NTA News.
The African Union Development Agency New Partnership for Africa's Development, AUDA-NEPAD, is closing ranks with Katsina State government to ensure more development projects will be delivered to people, especially at the grassroots. Kenneth Nanim reports that Governor of Katsina State, Dikko Umarata, was at the office of the new Chief Executive Officer of AUDA-NEPAD Nigeria, Jabir Salisu, to weigh collaborative options, including energy generation, which will attract direct investment in various sectors of the economy in Katsina State for development, especially at the grassroots.
Happy to hear about so many exciting projects that are going on in the project, especially the renewable energy, the small farmers holders, the Gold Initiative Empowerment Project, in which Katsina State is willing to key in and benefit for the purpose of the making life better for our people.
I roll out a program of lighting 1 million houses in Nigeria. That is one area that is close to my heart, and definitely Katsina State will be among the beneficiary state. And secondly, the ongoing smallholder farmers program that is going already 7 states. The pilot states are already on board. The next phase is also an area that I think will partner with Katsina State.
Both parties say they are on the same page regarding exploration of investment opportunities, especially in agri-business value chain for national economic growth. Meanwhile, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, has dispatched officials of the Federal Mines Office in Niger State to conduct an assessment following an explosion which rocked a mining site in Sabompegi Mashegu local government area of the state. Preliminary investigations suggest that the explosion was caused by the illegal stockpiling of explosives by one Yusheume Kampala, a resident of New Busa. The suspect is alleged to have been involved in purchasing and storing explosives and their accessories in a house in Sabompegi, where the explosion was triggered by suspected electrical spark around 7 a.m. on Sunday, destroying the building where the explosives were stored and damaging approximately 20 other houses in the vicinity. At least 2 fatalities have been confirmed. The minister expresses his deepest condolences to the victims, describing the incident as avoidable given the negligence surrounding the handling and illegal storage of explosives by the alleged culprit. 6 publications which capture the essence of existence of man as related to every sphere of life have been presented to the public. Elizabeth Omori reports that the author of the book, Sister Priska Wokuri, adopted poetry and simple words to drive home her thoughts.
John Milton, William Shakespeare, and William Wordsworth are few of the renowned poets who, through their works, shaped thoughts, minds, and philosophies. Today, a nun who is a scientist is also propagating truth through her literary works. Her 200 poems, put into 6 volumes, are testaments to the undying love, passion, and commitment to humanity and missionary work, using imagery to transfer values.
Let us just remember one thing: be the voice of truth wherever you find yourself, no matter the situation, because when you keep on telling the lies, you will never remember the last lie you told.
Reviewers of the literary works disclosed that the vision of the author through literature aims to inspire the younger generation and nurture societies built on purpose.
Her love for poetry is indescribable. Her craft of poetry is omnibus.
Ask yourself these soul-searching questions. Does God love men? How has God shown his love for men?
The poems reflect the author's vision of an ideal Nigerian society, highlighting the need for unity, justice, and equality.
The books were recommended for secondary schools within and outside the FCT.
Prayer is our power here on earth.
Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
The case of one Timileyin Ajayi, a 32-year-old man charged with 1 count of culpable homicide, came up Monday at the Nasarawa State High Court, where the suspect pleaded not guilty to the charge. Aina J. Auta reports.
It would be recalled that NTA News brought to you a story about a man named Timileyin Ajayi, who used to reside at Karshi suburban Karu local government area of Nasarawa State, that killed his girlfriend Salome Adaidu and dismembered her body for suspicious rituals. At the Nasarawa State High Court 2 in Lafia, the same Ajayi that confessed to the crime of killing his girlfriend without remorse is now pleading not guilty. Both counsels to the state government and the accused are optimistic that justice would be served at the end of the day.
The defendant, Mr. Timileyin Ajayi, was properly arraigned before this honorable court on the 1 count charge of culpable homicide punishable with death. His plea was taken and he pleaded not guilty to the charge, and the date was set for trial.
It's not my place to prove the case. It's my place to defend him. The essence of the work of the defense counsel is to ensure that the prosecution does their own work legally well.
We're not happy to see that a Nigerian was, in the circumstances, butchered, killed, not only killed, butchered, ripped, the bones removed, in so many polythenes.
Justice Simon Aboki has, however, adjourned the case to 17th of March 2025 for hearing. In Lafia, Ayena J. Auta, NTA News.
Now let's join Adiola in our Lagos Network studios for more on the news. Adiola.
Najatu. If issues of drug trafficking and abuse are eliminated, 60% of the nation's security challenges, other crimes and criminal activities will also be reduced.
Commander National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, Tinkan Island Port Strategic Command, Michel Ofoyeju, stated this while reeling out the agency's scorecard for year 2024. Dana Ajali has details.
Tinkan Island remains one of the busiest ports in Nigeria and a choice destination for cargo operators. Beside a volume of trade facilitated here are deliberate attempts by some importers to cut corners and aid crimes, especially drug barons. Aware of this fact, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has continued to redouble efforts to disrupt the activities of drug trafficking networks through its proactive intelligence gathering operations around the Tinkan port.
Through teamwork,
highlighting the agency's successes recorded between January and December 2024, Commander of the NDLEA, Tinkan Island Port Strategic Command, Ofoyeju Michel, says a total of 339,576.911 kilograms of viral drugs with an estimated monetary value of 134.2 billion naira were seized at the port.
The command will therefore remain vigilant in protecting our country from the painful grip of kidnapping, gruesome murder, and related crimes that are aggravated by drugs.
The agency also successfully arrested 38 suspects, out of which 12 convictions were won, while 26 cases are still pending in the law court. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
With the advent of ICT, digital skills has become a huge money spinner globally, creating jobs for millions of people. Experts are therefore urging Nigerians, especially the younger generation, to invest in knowledge of these digital skills to create wealth and employment opportunities. Chua Kukwola reports.
With the advent of digital technology, the world has become a global village, and the digital economy and tech industry, according to experts, is now a multi-billion naira industry worldwide. But getting a fair share of this available income and opportunities is now survival of the smartest. Those who have built their capacity in these digital skills can now earn foreign exchange from anywhere in the world via virtual jobs available online.
As technology is rampant and taking over the world, that is the way. So by making young people more technology literate, you empower them with the ability to be more productive and gain more ability to have a better future and create a better Nigeria.
With the government's ambitious projections for digital economy in 2025, experts believe the digital literacy of Nigerians will go a long way in actualizing this goal.
But getting them involved has to be intentional. There has to be some intention on that in supporting entrepreneurial endeavors by startups, by supporting hackathons, competition. Tell them, okay, how can we do this? And just challenge the young ones.
Studies in the last 3 to 4 decades have demonstrated a high correlation between ICT growth and economic development. Nigeria is not an exception.
Nigeria's population of social media users can also be leveraged on by those willing to take advantage of the digital dispensation. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
And those are the stories from Lagos. The network news will continue after the break in Abuja with the business-minded Musa on that segment of the news. To stay with us.
You're just in time to and who's got money on his mind and his mind on the money. Business-minded Musa.
Thank you very much, Naja. Well, let's begin with the capital market. Experts in finance and capital markets say long-term funding for capital budget is no longer a challenge in addressing budget deficit. This is as they believe Nigeria's capital market has the capacity to meet such demand as federal government looks to fund the 2025 appropriation of 47 trillion naira. Director General of Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. Motimi Agama, also believes that if players in the finance and capital markets will play by the rules, a $1 trillion economy is sure without hassles.
2025 up for will be a solution provider in every aspect of the Nigerian economy. Is it in technology? Is it in agriculture? Is it in transportation? Is it in health? Is it in housing? Just name it. Most recently, we at the SEC supported the Ministry of Finance Incorporated, in the issuance of the 250 billion naira bond.
100 million of this population do not have access to asset management type investments. Now, if we have 3 trillion just for having 35 million people exposed to that product, what will happen when you expose 200 million people to that product?
Why shouldn't an average Nigerian be able to get the returns that commodity exporters get? Why won't an average Nigerian be able to get the kind of returns that people that invest in infrastructure get?
And now to the capital markets, the equities market entered Monday's trading session in positive territory. The oil share index climbed 0.79% to close at 104,418.95 points. A total of 518 million shares in 17,196 deals, corresponding to a market value of 13 billion naira were traded. Compared with the previous NGX trading day, today's data shows 10% decline in volume, 48% improvement in turnover, and 49% improvement in deals. The current market capitalization of the Nigerian Stock Exchange is 64.2 trillion naira. Access Holdings recorded the highest volume of 51 million traded shares, followed by FCMB Group and Sterling Bank, as well as Zenith Bank. Well, that's a quick look at business news. The news continues after the break.
It's time now to join Badi Adile in the Sports Corner to fill us in on the breaking news he gave earlier concerning the Super Eagles. Badi?
Many thanks, Naja. Evidently, the Super Eagles of Nigeria have been placed in Group C alongside Tunisia, Uganda and Tanzania for the upcoming Africa Cup of Nations in Morocco, scheduled to take place from December the 21st, 2025 to January the 18th, 2026. This will be the 35th edition of the tournament, and the Eagles are aiming to claim their 4th African title after losing to host nation Côte d'Ivoire in the finals of the previous edition. In Group A, we have Morocco, the top seed, and they will face Mali, Zambia, and Comoros. Group B features Egypt and South Africa, reigniting a rivalry that dates back to 1996. Among the top six, Algeria appears to have the most favorable draw in Group E, where they will compete against Burkina Faso, Equatorial Guinea, and Sudan. Algeria were eliminated in the first round of the last 2 tournaments. The 24-team tournament consists of 6 groups in the first round, with the top 2 teams from each group, along with the 4 best third-place teams advancing to the knockout stage. Now, the National Sports Commission and the Nigeria Customs Service have agreed to work together to ensure the success of the forthcoming Africa Inter-Club Volleyball Championship for Women in Abuja. The Comptroller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, in an interface with the chairman of the National Sports Commission in Abuja Monday, intimated him on the award of the hosting rights to Nigeria and the level of preparation so far. Diko lauded Customs for its immense contributions to sports development in Nigeria, just as he promised the Commission's unflinching support towards the successful hosting of the competition come April.
International competition, if I'm not wrong, that will be hosted during, under this era. And we are likely going to see all our athletes changing their dance steps and winning all available laurels.
I will commit the National Sports Commission. Whatever that is needed to make this a success, we will work to make sure it's a success and lay a marker and a foundation for other tournaments and competitions to be hosted here.
Well, tough group or easy group for Nigeria, the debate is on. Let's return to Nigeria.
Thank you very much, Badi. President Bola Tinubu expresses his deepest sympathies to the entire family of Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde and the good people of Oyo State on the passing of his beloved elder brother and engineer, Sunday Makinde, saying the loss of a loved one, especially a cherished older brother, is a profound sorrow. The president prays for strength and comfort as the family navigates this loss. He also prays for the peaceful repose of Engineer Sunday Makinde's soul and for the Almighty to grant the family the strength to navigate this challenging time. On that note, we conclude the network news on NTA. Thanks for being a part of it.